Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today I'll be taking a look at the Arctic Rescue Boulder from Playskool Transformers Rescue Bots. This is very similar to the little pack that I previously reviewed with Bumblebee, where you get a Transformer, you get a little human figure, and then you get a kind of vehicle/animal apparatus going on over here on this side. So the Bumblebee one came with a, I think, hawk and a lion, and you could take them apart and make different configurations. This one has kind of a gorilla guy, which you can take apart and make different configurations. You can kind of see the gorilla up here at the top. Or I guess they're calling it a Yeti. I guess that would make sense since it's snow themed. So standard open packaging here on the front. When we flip it around to the back, you can see all the different possibilities. So you have the gorilla, I guess, can transform into a little jet ski. And then if you give him the gorilla arms, he becomes the gorilla. You can give the gorilla arms to the human. He's got giant gorilla arms for some reason. Then you can stick the gorilla arms on the Transformer, which I'm sorry is some of the things nightmares are made of. And then you can also transform the robot into the snowplow and then hook the jet ski onto the back. So you do have a couple of cool possibilities here. I think that's pretty neat. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the packaging here, and then we'll take a closer look. So here's everything out of the packaging. You get the little snowmobile, you get the Transformer, you get the human character, and then you get these two arms. They're hollow inside, so they're a little bit lighter than I expected, but they don't feel cheap. They're definitely pretty solid still, and they're nicely painted. So I will give that to them. Yeah, they're actually, like, they seem like they would be cheap, but it's not too bad. They actually feel pretty solid. So here is the human character. And again, I don't know any of these guys' names. If they have names on the show, I apologize. But I think he's a pretty cool character. I like his snowshoes. I think that's cool. He's got holes on the bottom of his feet. Now, it seems to me like Hasbro has given up on giving these guys bends at the waist. Because every time I see a human character with a Rescue Heroes set, they never bend. Like, their arms can move, but they move together as one. And, okay, he does still have wrist articulation, so that's nice. But the head doesn't move. Now, his head's kind of built into his parka and his backpack here, so that kind of makes sense to me. But I like his glasses. I like his head sculpt. I think it's a fun face sculpt and design. I think that's cool. I like his Autobot symbol on his chest, too. So overall, I like the design of the character. I guess he doesn't need to bend at the waist because, you know, all of the functionality he has with the various parts of this set don't need him to. So I guess it's cool. I just think it's a weird choice that they stopped making them bend at the waist. But I like the figure. I think he looks neat. I love the design, love the color scheme. So overall, pretty cool. Now you can take the arms and peg them in. You can see the holes on the back of his, I guess technically his sleeping bag. So you peg these in here, and then they just drop down and they peg into his fists here, as you can see. And then he's got kind of an exoskeleton, like he can control the arms. So maybe if he had to like clear some debris or something. It looks kind of neat. I kind of like this. It's a little silly and goofy. And I don't know why it plugs into his sleeping bag, but it works. It looks kind of neat. I also like how you can see the kind of like ice formations on the forearms here. It's a nice touch. Nice detail there. So that's one way you can use these arms. I'm going to go ahead and take these off. Put him off to the side. Next up, we have the Transformer. I believe this is Boulder. I have a version of Boulder from way back when Rescue Bots first started, where he was kind of a bulldozer. So him turning into a snowplow, not much of a stretch in my opinion. Now you can see the legs, they kind of barely splay out, but at least it's something. How this guy transforms, you take the torso section, and you can see here, it's going to bend backwards at this hinge and kind of auto-transforms. So as you click it into place, that goes down, the arms come together to form the plow, and the legs kind of pinch in. And then there you go. You have your snowplow. It's a very basic transformation, but I mean, these are for younger kids, so that makes sense. And I really do like the snowplow that you're left with. Nice design, nice color scheme. That pop of green on the front really pops. And I like the kind of metallic-y blue for the windshields and the windows. So yeah, overall I think they did a nice job with the color scheme and the paint. It all looks pretty good. So in this mode you can take the little jet ski here and you can plug it onto the back. There's these little slits in the treads underneath. And these two kind of tabs peg into it. So you just take this and pop it right in here, and then boom, you can have him on the back. And I guess that's just the way to kind of tow it along, and then you can have it deploy and pop off like this. We'll get more into that in a second. Transforming him back, you just kind of rotate that same section forward, and you can see the arms pop out, snaps into place. And there you go, he is in robot mode again. Now, if you have any of the individual weapons that came separately, you can plug them into these ports here so he can wield weapons. If you have the Yeti arms, you can plug them into these ports on the side. But I just think this looks really goofy and strange. I don't know why he's got these arms coming out of the side of his arms. It's like an experiment gone wrong. So while that is a bit of functionality that it does advertise on the box, I think that's strange, and I'm going to put that off to the side. So we're going to put Boulder off to the side for a second so we can take a look at the snowmobile. You can press this button on top, and it'll make the drill spin. That's nice. Take your human figure and pop him inside here. And then he can grab onto these handles. And there we go. And then he can pilot this around. Has some wheels on the bottom here so it can roll. Not amazingly, but decently. And then you can take these guys off and transform him by moving the Yeti head up, which will also bring up the handlebars and just kind of push him into the chest. And I like this. You can kind of see that the ski section kind of looks like the upper body, like pec muscles, and this kind of looks like his six-pack area. So it's an interesting bit of detail that they did to make this Yeti, and you can see his feet molded in here down at the bottom. And then of course you go ahead. Now you can peg it in down here, but then if you try to move it, the handles for the human are going to hit that. So I usually like to make sure it clears. Now you get a little bit of movement up, but then down it stops. But I feel like that's better, because if you wanted him to like have something in his hand and throw it from overhead like a boulder or something, I feel like that's the articulation you're going to want. So I make sure those are on the front, and then you can move them both up and back down. And then he does have a hole in his fist, so it looks like he could actually wield a weapon as well. But yeah, I like this little Yeti. It's goofy. It's kind of dumb, but I like it. I love the color scheme, the silver, the gunmetal gray, this kind of sky blue with the white and the green for the eyes. It just works. These colors really work well together. And it does give you a decent amount of options. I mean, you can transform this guy into a snowmobile, jet ski. I guess not jet skis for water. It's more of a snowmobile. So he can become a snowmobile. The human can ride it. The human can use his arms. The transformer can transform, and the snowmobile can go on the back. So there's a lot of playability here. I think it's kind of neat. On the surface, it kind of looks like a dumb set because, you know, the human doesn't have a ton of articulation. The transformer has a super simple transformation gimmick. But I think little kids are going to love this set because of all the different play options. I think really that's the name of the game for this set, and I think that's its biggest draw, and I kind of found it fun. I like the design of the Yeti. I like the design of the Transformer. Sure, it's a super simple transformation, but it's for kids, so if you keep that in mind, I think there's fun to be had there, and I kind of really like the little human figure. I think his design and color scheme looks great, so the lack of leg articulation doesn't really bother me, especially since it's not missed when interacting with the other pieces in the set, so I can forgive it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I like it, but tell me what you think. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.